Jannik Sinner just conquered Wimbledon. Millions celebrated the victory. The headlines praised his talent. The world admired the champion, but something else quietly caught people's attention. People who have known Jannik for years all keep saying the same thing. He hasn't changed. Think about that for a moment. One of the most famous athletes on the planet, millions of dollars, global recognition, endless pressure, yet everyone repeats the exact same sentence. He's still the same kid. How is that possible? Because success usually changes people, sometimes slowly, sometimes overnight. So why hasn't it changed Jannik Sinner? Stay until the end. Because the answer isn't hidden inside a tennis court. It's hidden inside the values he chose long before he ever lifted a trophy. Long before the cameras, long before the interviews, long before center court, there was a quiet boy growing up in the mountains of northern Italy. Life was simple, no luxury, no celebrity, just family, snow, school, and sport. In fact, tennis wasn't even his first passion. Jannik was one of Italy's best young skiers. Many believed that skiing would become his future, but deep inside, he felt pulled towards something different. At 13 years old, he made a decision that would change his life forever. He left home, his family, his friends, to chase a dream that had no guarantees. That choice demanded something far more valuable than talent, discipline, and the people around him quickly noticed something unusual. Jannik never behaved as though he deserved success. He behaved as though he still had to earn it every single day. That mindset would become the foundation of everything that followed. The victories started coming. One title became another, then another. Soon, the quiet teenager from South Tyrol was playing against the biggest names in tennis. The money arrived. The sponsors arrived. The fame exploded. Everything around Jannik changed, except Jannik himself. Coaches, journalists, ball kids, tournament staff, opponents. Again and again, they describe the same person. Respectful, calm, polite, focused. He thanks the people most fans never notice. He treats champions and volunteers with the same respect. He speaks more about his team than about himself, and perhaps that's what makes him different. He's never trying to look humble. He simply is. But where does that attitude come from? And why does it matter so much? Because the greatest victories in life are often invisible. As Jannik's career reached new heights, something unexpected happened. People stopped talking only about his forehand. They started talking about his character. Children waited for hours just to meet him. Tournament volunteers spoke about his kindness. Opponents described him as respectful even in victory. Journalists noticed the same quiet humility. Interview after interview, none of it felt rehearsed. None of it felt calculated, because Jannik never tried to convince people he was humble. He simply treated every person with the same respect, whether it was a world champion or someone cleaning the locker room. That may sound like a small detail, but character is often revealed in the moments cameras rarely capture. And perhaps that's why so many people admire him beyond his tennis. Not because he wins, but because success never became his identity. It remained his responsibility, and little by little, he began using that influence to inspire something much greater than victories. Most people believe success is measured by what you earn. Jannik seems to measure it differently. Throughout his career, he has supported charitable initiatives, youth projects, and community causes without turning them into part of his public image. He rarely speaks about doing good. He simply does it. Because for him, actions seem to matter more than headlines. That quiet approach is becoming increasingly rare. In a world where generosity is often announced, Jannik appears more interested in living his values than promoting them. Perhaps that's why so many young fans don't just want to play like him. They want to be like him, not because he's perfect, but because he reminds us that greatness and humility can still exist together. And maybe that's the lesson Wimbledon could never teach on its own. So, why hasn't success changed Jannik Sinner? Maybe because success was never the thing he was chasing. Long before the trophies, his family taught him something far more valuable. Respect people, work harder than anyone expects, stay humble, never believe you're more important than someone else. Those values traveled with him from a quiet mountain village to the biggest tennis courts in the world, and they never left. One day, someone else will probably win Wimbledon. Records will eventually be broken. New champions will arrive. That's how sport has always worked. But character Character lasts much longer than trophies. Perhaps that's why millions celebrated Jannik Sinner's victory. Yet those who know him best celebrate something even greater. The fact that, despite everything he has achieved, he is still the same young man they met years ago. Maybe that's his greatest victory. Not Wimbledon, but becoming successful without ever losing himself. So let me ask you one question. If success came into your life tomorrow, would it change who you are? Or would you still be the same person? Share your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you enjoy discovering the hidden human stories behind the world's most admired people, subscribe to See Beyond the Spotlight, because the next story might completely change the way you see another global icon.